people to take?
So that's a good question. And I think the answer, may be different given, different school communities and different needs and things like that. But I do think that it can be as simple as, if you want to go like super simple, you could just do a workshop, a one-off, kind of like junior achievement used to do. Like those workshops, I crafted an intro workshop that basically introduces kids to the concept of entrepreneurship, introduces them to other kids who have started businesses and have been doing it for a while, and then takes them through that first step of ideas and coming up with, business ideas. So it could be something as simple as that, a one day, one afternoon workshop to get the creative juices flowing and get these ideas into kids' heads. And, if it's something they want to pursue on their own beyond the workshop, I definitely have, resources that can support that family. But if you want to do more in the school, the next kind of level I would imagine is like an after school program or something like that, something that meets regularly so that these kids can actually work on this consistently with, an adult at the school who can give them some support. And they can really kind of execute and take this idea all the way to launch right there in the school system. And again, if you do it kind of as an after school, it doesn't have to be mandatory for everyone. I don't necessarily think that every student needs entrepreneurship. What I do think is that every student needs access to this type of education if they want it, if they feel like it's something they're interested in. So I think it can work really well and really easily in an after school program or like an elective class that happens during the day. But then if you want to really talk about the next level, there are actually schools that are wholly founded around entrepreneurship. Like their whole curriculum, their whole philosophy revolves around entrepreneurship. I know there's one school, do you know the Acton schools?
Acting schools?
Acton, Acton. Acton.
Acton. That does sound familiar.
Yeah. I think that's basically their approach, is that just everything kind of revolves around entrepreneurship, which is really cool. Now that requires a complete revamping, obviously. But you can take it to that level if you want to. I remember back when I was teaching in a Montessori school, and they had an entrepreneurship program there at that school. I remember the last year that we worked that program, third year we were doing that program. It was so awesome. And the kids loved it so much because we had really worked hard to kind of build in a lot of choice and decision-making and autonomy for the kids. And after that program was done, some of us teachers sat around and we actually talked about this idea. We were like, guys, you could just create a whole curriculum that revolves around this project. A whole school could revolve around this, and they could learn every other discipline through this lens of entrepreneurship. It's possible.
Yes, it is.
So, it's so much fun to think about all the different iterations that this could take. At least for me, it is. But no, it doesn't require a revamping, which is, I think, the important part. You can do something very simple. You can start small, and then, as time goes on, grow it into something more comprehensive if that's what works for your school community.
And I feel like that would be